Hello everybody, this is Paolo with Dreamlight Images. Once again, talking about the professional image. Now, normally I reserve these videos for my private group on Facebook. The address is right below here. It's bit.ly/DLI-PI, it's a DLI, it's Dreamlight Images-PI for professional image. And you can write it down, I'll leave it there for a while. The group is a closed group, it's a private group, but it is open to almost everybody. You just have to ask to be included in the group, and generally I will include you right away in a few minutes. So the reason I'm making these videos is to let people know about issues that could potentially undermine their professional image. And as we say, it's a try way of saying things, but it is still valid. You only have one chance at making a great first impression. So, having said so, I see almost every week multiple violations of professional image rules. I'm using rules as a shorthand. I'm not making the rules. These are not something that it comes from above. It is just common sense. And yet, it seems that as I look at all these frames from Zoom meetings, there is a sort of a selective blindness that happens. So the first thing I want to talk about is the dreaded virtual background. So, and before we go ahead and we talk about it, I want you to see it. I want you to see it because it seems to me that a lot of people don't see it. So the problem with the virtual background, this is a feature of Zoom. It seems that the vast majority of video meetings that are happening nowadays are with the Zoom platform. So I'm addressing Zoom because it is the most widely used platform. So when you're using a virtual background, you are really, from an image, a professional image and a branding standpoint, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Okay? Big time. Okay, let me explain why. Let me show you why. I'm going to switch to another screen. Let me see. So now you see it. Now you see it. So sometimes the other thing is I see cameras like this. Hello, I'm down here. So you see the issue? If you don't, let me recap. You see all around me. Now you see all this stuff. There is this garbage that is happening. All this around me. All these wiggling, that my hands, how terrible they look. I'm showing my hands and there is all kind of crap. You see that there is some sort of another face appearing every now and then behind me, right there. Let's see. Yeah. Because I have a TV with other faces. And you might be tempted to say, well, what's the big deal? The big deal is that, first of all, the image is totally horrendous. Your presentation is fundamental. So having this sort of stuff, the hair wiggling around, being eroded, your hands being cut, with your fingers cut out, this is a really, really poor presentation. I beg you, don't do it. It's not worth it. We have a very, very limited amount of time to make a good impression. By contrast, this is the real image. This is a professional image. So the virtual background is not gonna help anybody. It deteriorates your image greatly. And if you want branding, well, you can see I provide branding for video channels. Talk to me. Branding is supposed to be the personality of your business, okay? So it's not a logo. It's not a web page. It's a whole combination of elements. But what is most important, and you don't have to believe me, just verify, do a little search on Google. One of the most important points of a brand is the consistency of the brand. And so when you are presenting yourself, you're dressing up for a meeting, and then your Zoom meeting is this. There is no consistency, and there is no quality here, okay? So it's important that you are aware of all the elements that are going into your brand. Zoom meetings are deadly important because right now, that's the only thing we have. Right now, it is the only option for many, many businesses, and it's becoming ubiquitous. So I have very few instructions for you, very few suggestions here for you. The first one is look at your frame, because when you're doing a meeting, what appears in your frame is what everybody sees. So one thing I notice is, for example, there are some people who seem to be not seeing what's going on. So, for example, I've seen somebody just turning their side. When you're doing that, it looks like you're not paying attention. It's like you're looking away. Now, one thing came to my mind today is that in Zoom, there are two ways of looking at a meeting. One is the gallery view, and one is the presenter's view, speaker's view. So, if you are looking at the speaker's view, then you only see the frame of the person who's speaking, which is not necessarily you, okay? So if you're silent and you're in a meeting with 20 people and you're taking turns presenting your products, services, or saying who you are, then you're always seeing somebody else's view. You're not seeing yourself. That is something you need to fix right away. Switch to gallery view. And the other thing is you want to be aware. You want to be aware of your frame at all times, because that is what people see. And let me tell you one thing. If you are showing a poor image, it means you're not able to pay attention to your frame, to your own presentation, which makes me immediately, automatically doubt that you will be able to pay attention to my business if I come to you. If you're not able to care for yourself, how are you going to be able to care for my own interest? Okay? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it's true or false. That is the image that is projected in that moment. So I beg you, for your own sake, it doesn't bring anything to me, but for your own sake, be aware of what is in your frame, and make sure that you can look at your frame throughout the entire duration of the meeting. And don't look away and do some other stuff, because it shows. And when you do that, it brings immediately the idea to the other attendees that you're not there, that you cannot be bothered. You're just making an act of presence. It doesn't matter that it's true or not. It doesn't matter that you mean it or not. It's the way it shows. That is the reason why I'm talking about the professional image. It's the image. Image is perception. Once that is made, it doesn't go away easily, okay? It doesn't matter that it's true or not. It doesn't matter that what you are projecting in that moment is in sync with your intentions. And that might be one of the biggest challenges in caring for your image, is that your intention and the image need to be in sync, okay? Many times they're not. So the study of your professional image is really about projecting, because I assume that you mean always positive things. I assume that you are a great professional. I assume that you're competent, and I assume that you care. But if that is not what shows, then you're going to have a problem as a matter of perception. The problem is we have 7 seconds. I would like for you to burn that number in your mind, 7 seconds, to make a great impression. That's all it takes. So once that moment is gone, it's gone. So stay away from the virtual backgrounds. Make sure that your background, if you don't have anything elaborate, at least that it is clean, it is presentable. Make sure that you are getting into your meeting like at least 15 minutes before the beginning, so that you can care for everything. You can test everything. You can verify that your audio is fine, that your frame is okay, that your lighting is okay. I know it seems like a lot of details, and they are. And the other thing I would suggest, do not, unless it's for a gag or some sort of a joke, or there are specific reasons for that. But I would suggest, do not join a meeting from your car. I'm serious. If you were going to join a meeting, a video meeting, if it was instead of a video meeting, it was a meeting in person, you would not be in the car. Again, it's a matter of perception. If you are showing, and the occasional transgression is fine. It's better if you don't do it. But if there are no other circumstances, okay. There is flexibility. I'm not saying that there isn't. But if you are consistently showing yourself in a car, it does give the impression that you didn't have the time to be prepared for the meeting. People are not judgmental, and you might get away with it, but why take the risk? Why put yourself in a less than wonderful light? That is actually what you should think. Every time you're showing yourself, and in video meetings, that's what we do, be sure to show your best image possible. And I'll leave you with that. Thank you for watching. I root for your own success. I'm Paolo with Dreamlight Images. See you next time. Ciao.